Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Femme Noire Collective Incorporated this evening. We have a special guest speaker helping us celebrate Women's History Month with her 5 tips on increasing work-life balance. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We will have time for a brief question and answer at the end of the session. Femme Noire Collective is a multi-ethnic nonprofit organization currently serving South Florida. Our purpose is to maximize awareness and promote emotional and mental healing in women of color. We aim to accomplish this by providing webinars and events focusing on topics such as therapy, self-awareness, coping skills, and self-care. Best of all, we provide this all while creating a social outlet for our members. If you would like to know more about our organization, or if you're interested in membership, please visit our website at www.lafemmenoirecollective.com. Our speaker this evening is Sharonda Butler-Stewart. Sharonda Stewart is a Miami native and a class of 2000 graduate from Florida A&M University. Additionally, she is a wife, mom of 3, and mompreneur. In 2009, Sharonda created Sporty Mommas LLC, a lifestyle brand for women featuring apparel and events. She is a member of Jack and Jill of America, a Femme City Miami board member, and the current president of the South Florida Mom Bloggers. Sharonda loves to inspire, empower, and encourage moms of all ages to look and feel their best through philanthropy, fashion, wellness, and inspiration. Welcome, Sharonda.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you, Tracy, for reaching out and inviting me to share this space with you all. We've already been chatting and getting to know each other and catching up. So it's really, really good to share tonight with you all. You ready to dive in?
Yes, we are.
All right. So let's get real. As moms, as women, we got a lot on our plate. You know, most of us are juggling multiple jobs, multiple kids, doctor's appointments, hair appointments, you name it, we're doing it. And I want you to really take some time tonight to be present, even if you're driving, to try to be present and know that you're worthy of dedicating these few minutes to yourself, because also as moms and women, we feel guilty for taking time out, for practicing self-care, but this is self-care. So I applaud you all for taking a few minutes out of your day to not just, indulge in the conversation, but for yourself. You did this for you. So I'm happy to share this space with you all. So for those of you driving, you can't do this first exercise. But those of you that are not driving, what I want you to do is to close your eyes and take one long, deep breath. So we're going to close our eyes and just take an inhale, maybe hold it for 3 seconds if you can, and then release. Again, deep breath in and release. Last one, deep breath in and release. And I saw Tracy's shoulders rose, my shoulders rose. We're kind of just letting off, letting go all of the things that happened before we got here tonight. Just shake it out, let it go, and let's get into this topic. So what I want you to do is to think about, how do you want your life to be? What do you want? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where are you? Who's in it? Those of you that are driving, again, you can't do this part, but if you're home, I want you to jot down a few things that come to mind. What does it look like? What does your ideal life look like? So I'll give you a minute, because I know those of you driving, you can't do it, but you can think about it. You might not be able to write it, but think about it. What is it? Are you in the same house? Are you in the same relationship? Are you in a different job? Do you have less stress? What is it that you want your life to look like? Anybody want to share? Any hands?
I can share.
Okay.
So far this year, I have been working a lot on my own personal self-care journey and trying to balance all the things that I do at work and being the president of this organization. And as one of the founders, one of my visions is to see this organization grow to a point where it could last beyond me. So I would see it as like it being my legacy. And something that helps women actually get to a place where we're comfortable and relaxed and we can be all the things we want to be and have the life we want to have and not like hold everything in, but to be able to release and just have a safe space for us.
I love that. Love that a lot. Anybody else want to share?
I'll share. So for me, just I feel like right now my family and I are in a little bit of a transition where we're expecting another child. So envisioning a bigger space, living space. We want our own home. We want to purchase. I see in my eye 3 kids running around with their own yard, being able to have a pet, and also just being able to hopefully retire early and work with my husband in his business, and that business be growing and booming.
I love that. Anybody else? Going once, going twice?
I'll
Okay.
go.
Oh, yay. Okay.
So I actually wrote down a lot of the stuff that you mentioned in January for my ideal job that I am looking for and seeking, because I want more flexibility to allow me to work on my personal business. And I also want to be able to drop my kids off and be able to pick them up from school. So these were some of the things that I envision my life to be with the transition that I am seeking and looking for. But I want to be in a working atmosphere where, we have like-minded people and faith-based people. So I'm really trying to connect with that, but definitely something that gives me a little bit more flexibility in my schedule so I can dedicate time more to the family, to the business, and then eventually, open up a childcare facility. Run a childcare facility, because at this point, I don't think I'm going to end up working in it, but actually running it and, just being the go-to person when it comes to making like final decisions, but, overseeing whoever I put in place as the director.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Anybody else? I see someone's connecting. Okay. So I think it was Jennifer, you tapped on it. It's visualization. So the first exercise that we did was visualization. And I use this tool quite often. I think it's one of the most powerful things that we can do is to really sit and visualize what it is we want, how we want to feel, again, where we want to be, who we want with us, because it's putting out into, the world that, hey, this is, me, this is what I want, this is what I deserve. And it's setting the intentions that not only is this what you want, this is what you're going to get. So it's similar to a vision board. I do it frequently. Maybe once a month, I would recommend it because, we're going to go through different things at different times. And you might have to, have a new vision for that month, depending on the circumstances that may come up. But I'm super excited for you all. I hope those of you that did write it down, that you save it somewhere, whether you take a picture of it and save it in your phone or put it in your Bible or your journal or somewhere where you can go back, and in 6 months you can message me, hey, like this is what came. That would really, really make me feel good. So, and those of you that didn't get to write it down, it's not too late. When you get home and you have time, just jot it down, and again, take a picture of it and save it and carry it with you. So I also wanted to add that the breathing exercise, like we only took 3 breaths. It lasted about a minute. But if you do that for about 2 minutes a day, just taking that time to pause and reflect, it's like it kind of resets your body. It kind of resets your brain because you just cleared out and released the things that, like, we were a little tense before we got on the call, or we were clenching our jaws. So just a few minutes a day of like being present and taking those breaths. I would definitely try to do 2 to 5 minutes, but if you can't, start with just 1 minute, and you'll notice whenever I do it, I instantly feel lighter. So I highly, highly recommend that. So now we're going to dive in. So today I want to encourage you all. We all have these visions for our lives, what we want in the future. How are we going to get to it? So we wrote it down. Now we got to, get to step in, do the work. The first thing to creating balance for me is, making a list and then saying no to the things that they're not on that list. They no longer serve me and I just don't have time for it. So my first tip is to say no. Say no to the extra. Say no to the meetings, the birthday parties, the events and things that you really don't have the energy for. I'm guilty of saying yes. Well, not anymore, but I used to say yes all the time. And I found myself overworked, most of the time working for free because I was volunteering a lot, and tired. And then the other person was over there happy and having fun. So the first tip for all, especially for moms, is to say no to the things that no longer serve you, the things that you really just don't want to do and don't have to do and don't have time to do. So that's my first tip. My second tip, I have an exercise for that. So a lot of people say, oh, what do you mean saying no? So what are 3 things that are like important to you, but you kind of think they're draining your energy? Can anybody think of 3 things? It's like, it's important. You feel like I really got to do it, but every time I do it, I'm just like it's sucking the life out of me. So if you can write down at least 1, but I would like for you to write down 3, but if you can write down at least 1, I'm coming for that first one. So let me see if anybody wants to share their first energy drainer. I can be, go ahead.
I'm a member of an organization and it's my first year in the organization. I absolutely love it. Everyone's great. So I absolutely love the work we do. However, I was kind of suckered into co-chairing a committee, like right out of the gate. And it's one of the committees that's the heaviest load. And so that's one of the things when I started to think of, I really love the work that we do, but it's kind of like every time I get a text message and it's like, can we talk about this event? I'm just like, oh, I don't have time for this. Or I just, I really just rather take a nap. So that's the first thing that came to mind for me.
Anybody else? Okay, so in that situation, I don't think you can say no right now because you'll be quitting and we don't quit. However, next year, you don't have to sign up for that committee. So I would definitely, recommend that. And I've done that before too. I served on a committee for an event and then it wasn't really what I thought it would be. So then the next year I just said, don't even look at me. All right. I see. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Vi. So tip number 2 is creating a schedule. So most of us some of us are teachers, or have been teachers. We're good with scheduling, but are you good with sticking to your schedule? So a tip for me, in the influencer world, the things that I'm doing now is sticking with the schedule. I keep like an old school desk calendar on my desk as a planner. If I need to, I can take it with me, put it in my laptop bag, whatever, but it's like sitting by my computer 99.9% of the time. And that helps me stay organized. It helps me plan out, make sure all my deadlines are met, for shooting content, for meetings, appointments for the kids, keeping the schedule like where I can see it. Because if not, sometimes you forget. But also in the work part, the work balance is I created office hours. So a lot of us are working from home right now, or we did during the pandemic, but we find ourselves working all the time, like always checking emails, always on a call, always, doing something. So one of the things that I've done in the last 2 years is to set office hours. So I only schedule meetings and appointments during 9 and 2 on most days. I will, have to swivel or whatever. But for me, like setting those hours, it's like I'm only gonna do this during this time. If something comes up, I'm flexible. However, respect my time. This is the time that I'm gonna work. Like, so that means you can call me, you can bug me, you can email me during this time. And emails will keep coming, but I might not respond until the next day. So setting like concrete hours, and what you're doing, you're setting boundaries. You're saying, okay, I'm only getting paid from 9 to 5. So why am I still working at 10 at night? Or if you're working for yourself, you have to, take time for yourself to rest and get self-care. So if you're working from 9 to 9 or 12-hour days or whatever it is, are you really taking care of yourself? And one of the things that Tracy and I were talking about before this conversation is the whole point of this is to prevent burnout, because we want to enjoy our lives, and live our best lives every day. We don't want to say, oh, we're going to wait till we're 60 or 70 to do the things that we love. No, we deserve to do those things now, and we're going to take the steps to get there. So creating a schedule. So yeah, saying no, creating a schedule. The third tip is to delegate. And this is hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me too. So we'll start with little things, delegating. Tracy, you mentioned you want to grow, you want to expand. So one recommendation, hiring a virtual assistant. You pay them a few dollars an hour compared to, I think they like $3 or $4 an hour. Most of them are overseas, but they can send your emails, they can make your emails. They can do a whole lot of stuff, but you just have to do the research and find the assistant that can help you if you're doing, some kind of office clerical type of job. Housekeeping, we spend a lot of times cleaning up, especially if you have kids, laundry. So if you can afford, maybe start off once a month, getting somebody to come in and cleaning up. So you have those hours to do what you want to do, or to spend more time with your kids and your family. So definitely delegating. If it's something at work and you really don't want to do it, okay, I won't say you really don't want to do it. You can get out of doing it by asking someone to help you. So asking a coworker or somebody, maybe there's an intern or an assistant around that can help you knock off some of those tasks, to kind of free up a little bit of your time. Any questions so far? You okay? All right. The fourth thing is movement. Okay, this is huge. We don't do this enough. And I think that as women, as Black women, we really have to take charge, and own that we could be doing better. Moving for just 30 minutes a day does wonders. And even if you can't do 30 minutes a day, I would say 15 minutes a day. Just getting out, moving around. If you're home, you can do something online, maybe put on a music video and dance, the whole 5 minutes of the song. I used to do a lot of yoga. I'm not doing a lot of yoga anymore, but walking at the park, like just being out in nature just kind of resets and makes me appreciate, where I am and what I have and just be present in the moment. Like, it's crazy. I'm sharing this and I'm thinking about, I walk the same park a few days a week, but on this one particular day, I looked up and there's this huge tree. And I'm like, I never paid attention to this tree before. And I'm literally like, just in the moment, like in the park, looking up at this big tree. And I'm like, I bet this tree was here like way, way, way before me. But when we used to go to that park when I was a kid, I actually had that thought, like, I wonder if this tree was here when we used to come play, we were cheering at the park and stuff like that. So just connecting to something, if it's, outdoors, if it's dance, if it's going to a class, weight training is really good, but just moving your body for at least 30 minutes a day. Starting out, if you can only do 10 to 20 minutes, that's fine. You want to just kind of get your body going and start. Not only does it help, you feel better, you burn calories, but it boosts your immune system. So movement for me is super, super, super important. I try to do it every day. I'm not gonna lie, some days I don't get to it. Today was one of those days where I was in my car all day. I was like, I burned a half a tank of gas, but tomorrow I'm gonna be back on the track and get my laps in. So we have saying no, creating a schedule, delegating, and movement. And the fifth tip to creating better work-life balance is doing what you love, making the time to do what you love. And some may be like, I don't know what I love, or I just love shopping, whatever it is. Tap back into something that you're passionate about, something that lights you up when you think about it, something that your friend told you, like, hey, you're really good at that. Or your mom told you, hey, you're really good at that. Get back to that feeling of this is it. Because I think a lot of us, like, we're missing that. We get overloaded with work. We get overloaded with our kids. Everybody comes before us. But what lights you up? Like, what is something that you really miss and would love to start doing again? So I don't know if anybody want to answer that, but something that you want to make more time for. It could be writing, art, it could be volunteering, speaking. Anybody?
I'll go.
Okay.
For me, this organization was that. So I do get, it's something that I love. So that is why when I'm doing things for this organization in particular, it does not feel like work. It's kind of like me getting out all the ideas that I want to explore. So it seems like it's more fun and a release of ideas than work. So that's something that I enjoy doing. And it's something that I'm passionate about.
I love it. And you're making a difference. And you're bringing it together beautiful women, creating a space. And those are the things that like feed our souls and, fill us up and make us want to do more and spread, the mission with women all over the world. So I think that's amazing. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I see something in the chat, but I didn't see before. Tiffany says she's burned out and signing up for me. Okay. Crafts. Somebody likes to do crafts. Anybody else? Well, I honestly think, like you said, Tracy, what you're doing now, it's your passion and you love it. And I think when we nurture that and we take the time to, develop it and let it flourish, the possibilities are endless. And who knows, maybe, you'll just be doing this and not, your day job. But I encourage you all to, again, tap into the things that would light you up. Usually it was something, from early on, like in childhood. For me, it was the stage, performing, dancing, drama, all of that. Like, it was my thing. And for years I let it go out of fear, that's a whole nother conversation. However, I find myself kind of full circle with now the things that I'm doing is kind of all going back to those things that I loved back then. And I honored that, hey, I miss this. I really love this, not knowing I was going to be where I am now, but it's giving me the opportunity to use, the gifts and the talents that I developed at an early age to put out, to create content, to work for brands, to speak in front of people on the stage. It's kind of come full circle. So maybe right now you feel like, okay, I don't really know, or I can't, the time's not right. But I'm here to tell you that it's right when you want it. We have to make time. Sometimes we have to sacrifice, but I just want to leave you all with, you can do and you can live and have the life of your dreams. You really just have to decide what it is that you want, say it out loud, put it out into, the universe, and just kind of, let it flow, that's all I have. I'm so excited to share this space with you all. If you want to reach out to me with questions or one-on-one, you can find me everywhere at Sporty Mamas. And hopefully I'll be joining you all soon as a member. So yeah, thank you.
So with that, Sharonda, can you tell us a little bit about what Sporty Mamas is? Because I like to give all of our guests the opportunity to let people know what their businesses are. So just tell us a little bit about Sporty Mamas.
Okay, so Sporty Mamas started, 2009 is crazy. A lifestyle brand for women, particularly moms, but I think it's more just for women, to inspire and encourage the mom to look and feel her best. So initially when I started, it was just t-shirts, and I would do fundraising events. I still have my t-shirts, and I host events, just not as frequently we were doing fundraising for breast cancer. So now I partner with different organizations to also raise money for different causes. The main mission has always just been to uplift and empower the mom, because as moms, we put ourselves on the back burner. And I really wanted to create events and create things that made moms feel better about themselves, because I went through a time where I didn't feel that good about myself, and I didn't know where I was headed, and how my life would look, when the kids got older. So Sporty Mamas is my baby. It's expanded a lot. I am currently I'm the South Florida Mom Blogger leader, so I host events through the South Florida Mom Bloggers. So if anybody on here is interested in blogging, there's also a Palm Beach Bloggers, a Fort Lauderdale Bloggers, and then the Miami and then South Florida Moms is like all of them. So anybody can join. We host events quarterly right now, tailoring towards working with brands and learning how to position yourself. So that's like exciting. I'm able to lead and share the things that I've learned in the past 3 years in the influencer marketing world. Working with brands has been a big thing the last 2-3 years for me. What else? And just service. I love serving. I love fundraising. I love gathering women together just to uplift and inspire each other, because I feel like we all have something to share. We think we're the only ones going through something. But when you let your guard down, you realize that we're in this together. Like, we're all going through something. We all need each other. And we have to be open to having those relationships.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Those were some really good tips. I hope that we get something out of it. I hope everybody utilizes these tips to be able to create a little bit of work-life balance. We all have a lot of different things going on right now, so we can use these strategies just to help us get through without being so stressed and overwhelmed. So thank you so much for providing us with those tips. So I just want to say the strategies presented today are amazing for preventative, proactive, and maintenance of mental wellness. However, if you or someone you know is struggling with chronic or perpetual mental health concerns, we strongly recommend seeking the support from a trained, licensed mental health professional. Help is available. Crisis hotlines such as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline 988, the crisis text line 741-741, or our local resource line 211 have trained mental health counselors available to speak with you 24/7. On behalf of the ladies of La Femme Noire Collective Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker and you, our guests, for spending your time with us this evening. If you would like to know more about our organization or are interested in membership, please visit our website at www.lafemmenoirecollective.com and be on the lookout for our upcoming meet and greet and membership information events. Have a great evening.